2 months, 40-plus games, 10-plus rainouts, one final chance at the Jim Lineweaver Cup. As the Sox look to cap off its Cinderella run, it'll have to derail a powerful steam engine that has barreled its way through the Valley. The finale of one of the most thrilling Valley League playoff series in recent memory. Charlottesville versus Strasburg in Game 3 for all the marbles. Welcome inside First Bank Park here in Strasburg as the best of the North and South divisions get ready to do battle. I'm Daniel Stein, joined alongside by my partner Landon Weaver. And Landon, this has just been an insane playoff run that both teams have been on, but now it's up to one game here with only one team taking home the cup.
And it's kind of poetic that it ended that way, right? The Sox have played in 3 straight games, which there have been walk-offs. 2 of them have gone their way, and the other one coming here, Strasburg, I should say, walking off in Game 1 of the Valley Baseball League Championship. So it's a lot to look forward to in this game. I think we're going to have a similar outing, tight game, and may the best win. But hopefully, the Sox are able to get some runs in early. It's something that they've been struggling with to do all season long, and if they can do that, then I think they'll be good to go.
So we'll take you through the Tom Sox order here. It's going to start with Perry Hargett. Kyle Langley follows him, then Jackson Soroy, followed by the designated hitter Brock Clayton, Patrick Nias, Anderson French, Hudson Luderman, the 2 Hokies batting back-to-back, and then Will Genowine and Lee Sowers rounding things out. The starter for the Express this evening is John Gray, the right-hander here. And this is a Tom Sox team that put up 8 runs yesterday. They put up 11 the night before right here at First Bank Park. And now they're going to try to continue that offensive production here in the biggest game of the season. We're just about ready to go. Here's Gray's first pitch to Perry Hargett. It's taken outside for a ball at 7:04, and we are underway here in Game 3 of the Chip.
It's just a great day to call baseball, Daniel. It's been a great season, and for it to culminate like this, it's fantastic.
Here's a little tapper down the third base line that goes foul. And of course, it brings challenges whenever you go to a new stadium. Landon and I are positioned along the first base line, so our view is not quite as nice as it is at Cho Airport Field, but we have a beautiful night for baseball here as Hargett cuts and misses, and the count is 1-2 here to lead off this game.
Hargett had a couple of really hard-hit balls as of late. He got one to go yesterday that I believe it was a single, and he's starting to come in his own now.
Here's the 1-2, misses upstairs, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. If you're just kind of coming to for this series, it was a 12-11 thriller in Game 1. The Tom Sox were down multiple times. They were able to will themselves into the game, but they ultimately lost it. Yesterday was an 8-7 win as Hargett cuts and misses on the high fastball. There's one away here as Game 3 gets started, and Kyle Langley will dig in here with 1 out.
Yeah, Hargett has struck out a bit as of late, but I'd rather him go down swinging than looking. It shows that it was more of a competitive at-bat instead of one that the pitcher won outright.
So here's Kyle Langley, a guy who's been here for the whole season, and he has had a fantastic Valley League Championship, a 3-run home run in Game 1 of this series. He cuts and misses at the first pitch out of the hand of Gray. Yesterday, he had a double, a walk, a ground out, and a line out. It was offensive production up and down the board for the Tom Sox, and the time where they need it most. Second pitch to Langley hits the zone for strike 2, according to home plate umpire Tim Detweiler. Steve Williams is at first base, Derek Tope is at second base, and Landon Rochelo-Schultheis is at third. 4 umpires for this Valley League Championship Series. Here's the pitch to Langley, swing and a miss. He buried one in the dirt, and Langley fans, there are 2 away here in the first.
Yeah, 2 straight strikeouts for the Sox. They haven't struck out a ton early on in this Valley League Championship Series, but you want to fix that real quick. A lot of strikeouts is a recipe for not a successful night.
Express pitchers only had 6 strikeouts yesterday in 9 innings versus the Tom Sox as Jackson Soroy, the future Terp, digs in and takes below the zone. Soroy is a guy who just continues to impress as the season went on. He had 2 hits yesterday, both singles in a game that featured little extra base hits. See what he can do here as the second pitch misses low and inside for ball 2. It's a breezy night here at First Bank Park. It was hot and humid today, as most days have been here in the Valley, upper 90s, but Now the wind has picked up as some rain came through the valley a couple hours ago. 2-0 to Soroy is fouled back. And 2 balls, 1 strike here with 2 outs. Still scoreless early in the first.
And one thing to note about Strasburg's field is their backstop is not a chain link fence like Charlottesville. It's more of a padding, and the ball will come right back to the catcher, so it's hard to take home if there's a wild pitch.
Gray comes set and deals. Soroy swings and misses. And it is 2-2 here with 2 outs. Tom Sox just trying to put one in play. Jackson Soroy, who's man shortstop for the past couple of weeks or so, and he's back there once again. Here's the 2-2. Called strike 3. What a start from John Gray. He strikes out the side and sends us to the bottom of the first. Still scoreless here early in Game 3 of the title. Now it's the Express turn to bat here after the Tom Sox went 1-2-3. Alex Bingler will take the mound, and before we talk about him a little more, we'll set the defense here for your Tom Sox. Bingler's battery mate tonight is Anderson French, going around the infield, starting at third, Patrick Neas, Jackson Soroy over at short, Lee Sowers at second, Hudson Luderman mans first base. Out in the pasture, Perry Hargett in right, Kyle Langley in center, and Will Genowine is in left. But back to Bingler. This is a guy who hasn't pitched since the Valley League South title versus Culpeper, but a lefty is going to bring a little bit of a different approach to the mound here.
Yeah, something that Strasburg hasn't seen a whole lot as a left-handed pitcher, and a guy that has had a lot of rest. His arm's going to be relatively more fresh than the other guys in the bullpen, so excited to see what he'll bring.
So the first pitch from Bingler to Brady Bowles bounces in front of the plate for ball 1. The rest of the lineup for Strasburg following Bowles, Paul Osting, the DH, then Eddie Castillo, who's at second, Landon Beaver, not to be confused with my color commentator, at first base, Jake McCarter, Brett Mosley, Jay Douglas, Logan Duff, and Brooks Henderson. Second pitch laid off by the leadoff man Bowles, 2 balls, no strikes. Bingler finished the game a couple days ago, I should say, against Culpeper. He was the last pitcher used by Charlottesville in yet another walk-off win. But he's fallen behind here early, 3 balls, no strikes. Infield set straight up. Bingler just trying to get a strike on the board early here. Fourth pitch hits the zone up and in, and it's 3-1.
Over the course of the Valley League Championships, we've seen different zones from different umpires, and it'll be interesting to see what they're calling tonight.
3-1 is fouled straight back by Brady Bowles. Bowles yesterday had an RBI single in the second, but also struck out 3 times. It was a Tom Sox team that had their fair share of Ks, as the 3-2 is fouled back once again. The field here at First Bank Park is definitely, if you know how to play here, you can set up a good game plan. It's 300 feet down the left field line, as is the right field line, 365 to dead center. A smaller park here in Strasburg is another full count from Bingler. Misses outside. The leadoff man is on via a walk. That will bring Paul Osting to the plate here with nobody out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, good to see that Bingler worked back in that count, but he's got to find a consistent pitch that works for him. It looked like he was trying to just paint the corners there, just try and deal one that's fast, a little bit lower since the field is shorter, and go from there. Don't need to do too much.
So here is Paul Osting, the designated hitter, after he played right field yesterday back in Charlottesville. First pitch to Osting, swung on and missed. It's a Tom Sox team that has their fair share of JMU Dukes. Alex Bingler is one of them. Kyle Langley another out in center field. Lane Duff, who was pitching here 2 days ago in Game 1 out in the pen tonight. Here's the 0-1. Osting takes inside for strike 2. And so this time Bingler ahead of the count. There are clouds in the sky, but it's kind of a dark blue sky right now as the sun sets. A little ominous, but no rain is expected here in the next couple hours. Here's the 0-2 from Bingler. Outside, 1-2 count.
And one thing that the Sox pitchers need to do, especially Bingler tonight, is if you get ahead in an 0-2 or a 1-2 count, keep your foot on the gas. Don't let off. We've seen too many counts where the pitcher will start ahead and then the batter ends up working a walk.
Bingler just pitched 1 inning versus Culpepper in his last outing. Takes a look at Bulls at first and deals. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the evening for Alex Bingler. That's 1 on the board. And that will bring up Eddie Castillo, the second baseman, here with now 1 out. The Tom Sox in this game sporting their gray pants with the neon green uniforms and navy blue sleeves. And for the Express, they have kind of the camouflage purple and gray uniforms with the white pants. Interesting color scheme here between these two teams as the first pitch finds its way into the zone against Castillo.
Good for Bingler there to change it up a little bit. A nice breaking ball that dropped into the zone, kind of threw off Castillo.
Castillo didn't get a hit yesterday, but he did walk 3 times as the second pitch to him is also in there for strike 2. The way we're positioned here, almost parallel with the Tom Sox dugout, you almost have to look between the heads of different people to really get a good view of the strike zone, but high-low is pretty visible from where we are on the first base line. As the 0-2 is taken in the dirt for ball 1. Try to get him to chase the changeup. Sowers and Soroy now move into double play position here. 1-2 with 1 out. Bingler takes a deep breath, kicks and fires. Ground ball down the line, foul. That will make its way into the Express bullpen.
Yeah, about 4 Express players kind of dodged out of the way of that one. It wasn't moving fast enough to hurt you, but it definitely would sting a little bit if it caught you on the shoulder.
Each dugout kind of has an opening in the middle of the fence that goes about halfway up. Here's another offering from Bingler. Just inside on the fastball, takes Castillo. And Beaver waits on deck. The bullpens are also an interesting position here. The Tom Sox is far down the right field line, but the home one, you can see the bullpen players poking out over the left field wall. As Bingler misses low here, it's run full with 1 out. You want to get Castillo while you can here, especially with Landon Beaver lurking on deck. Bulls with a healthy lead on first. Bingler takes a look and kicks and fires on a 3-2. And he hits Castillo. Looked like it might have got him in the shin guard on his left leg. So Castillo will take his base. That was going to be ball 4 anyway. And now Strasburg has 2 on with 1 out for Landon Beaver.
Yeah, not the kind of guy that you want to let have base runners, let alone somebody in scoring position. We know what he's capable of. He went yard in the first game of this series, and that definitely set a tone for the Express, but the Sox were able to claw back. But still, he is the best batter in the Valley League and sure to be the Valley League MVP. Now he's up to bat with a runner on first and second.
Beaver with 15 home runs on the season as time is called where Castillo will toe the first base line to test out how his leg feels here. Looks like he's going to be okay. So now you get a lefty-lefty matchup with Beaver, who yesterday did have an RBI single on a pair of singles and a walk. He was the first guy in the order to not reach 6 at-bats, but that means he just had 5 in a game where a combined 15 runs were scored. Here's the first pitch from Bingler. It's a slider that misses outside for ball 1.
The first lefty-lefty matchup of the day here in Strasburg. It's Landon Beaver and Alex Bingler. Interesting to see how the two minds go at each other here.
Bingler takes a deep breath and deals on a 1-0. Outside as well, 2 balls, no strikes with Castillo on first and Bowles on second. Osting batted between them. He struck out swinging. That's where we are now in a 2-0 count with 1 out. No score in the bottom of the first in this Valley League title game. Bingler takes a deep breath, looks back at Bowles at second, now in and fires. Swing and a miss by Beaver. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's a pretty good crowd tonight, as you would expect for such a significant game. The Strasburg bleachers about 2/3 of the way full. The away bleachers, there's a little more of them, so they're scattered, but still plenty of opposing fans here. Bowles has a big lead. Bingler will look him back. Now he fires. Just misses there. 3 balls, 1 strike. First base umpire Steve Williams telling Brandon Eldridge to get back in the dugout as he was sitting just next to it while eating something. Something in a cup. It might have been the baked mac and cheese here, which I had some a couple days ago. Man, that was good.
May have to take a peek at that later.
3-1. Beaver takes outside. It's the second walk issued by Bingler, the 3rd free pass if you count the hit by pitch, and Strasburg has the bases loaded early.
And not the most promising sign, but the double play is still in order for the Sox with now the bases loaded, and that's about the only promising thing about having your bases chocked full.
So here is Jake McCarter, who knocked in a run with a hit by pitch when he got knocked yesterday in Charlottesville, and now he comes up in a big spot here. Still scoreless, 1 out, but the base is juiced here for Strasburg in bottom 1. First pitch misses below the zone. 1-0 count here now with Beaver on first, Castillo on second, and Bowles on third. But before that happens, Chris Glaze will head out to the mound. This is going to be something interesting to watch, Landon. How long will the leashes be for any of the pitchers in this game? Of course, a big storyline that's only become more interesting as the season has gone on is the Tom Sox bullpen has just gotten more and more depleted, but now in such a big game, these pitchers might not be asked to pitch as much.
Yeah, you got to take a look at what you're dealt, right? Bingler, so far today, he's got the strikeout, but then 3 free passes, and if you're Glaze and Tomlin or anybody else on the coaching staff for the Sox, you're going to have a tight leash for all the pitchers. And you have, I believe there's about 5 pitchers readily available for today, which is a good amount. You don't want to go to them too early, but if the game needs it, they'll go to them when they need be.
Riley Rorty would likely be available. Duff would technically be available. He pitched in game 1. Ian White said he would be as well. As the pitch is lined over the glove of Nias. That's a fair ball. It's going to score at least 2. Genuine comes in to pick it out, and it is a 2-run double for Jake McCarter. Strasburg has struck first in game 3. They lead 2-0.
Yeah, that one just found the gap very well, and you know, it dipped over Nias' glove, and it was kind of unfortunate for Genuine out there and left. He had to crawl back to the corner in order to get the ball. It didn't drop well for him.
So an unfortunate circumstance here for Bingler. Now he has to deal with 2 runners on and 2 in scoring position here for Brett Mosley. It's another lefty-lefty matchup. 2nd and 3 at-bats. Mosley will check in for his first at-bat of the day after knocking in a pair of RBIs yesterday, 1 on a sac fly, 1 on a single. Bingler kicks and fires. Swing and a miss by Mosley.
Yeah, Bingler needs to go back to whatever he did during that first strikeout against Osting. It's got to be the fastball and locating it right in where he wants it to. Don't try and change up your pitches too much. Just stick with what's working.
0-1 here on the Ole Miss player, Mosley. Bingler on an 0-1. just outside on the fastball. 1-1 count here. It's an interesting setup here at First Bank Park. The trees just kind of line the outfield very close to it. Makes you feel like you're in a forest, but then when you look on the other side facing towards the infield, it's a whole complex with a school and a couple other fields. Mosley goes after the slider in the dirt, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, good there from Bingler to get ahead in this count. Could have easily taken that shot of confidence and dealt with it negatively, but he's come back in a positive manner.
1-2 count, 1 out, 2 already in on the double off the bat of Jake McCarter. Charlottesville trailing early here in this Game 3 matchup. Bingler kicks and deals. In the dirt, Mosley takes. 2-2 count here.
Dawson Newman getting warm in the Sox bullpen already. So it just goes to show that they're going to want to maybe rotate a little quicker today if need be. Don't want to take any chances.
2-2 count, 1 out. Bingler against Mosley. Here's the pitch. Called, strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Alex. And that makes 2 in the inning here with Douglas coming up to the plate. Jay Douglas, a guy who was a nuisance, especially defensively yesterday, where he was patrolling center field. Now he will man right field and also check in here for his first at-bat. Bingler gets the sign and deals against the righty Douglas. First pitch outside for ball 1.
Now you have the opposite hand matchup between Douglas, the righty, and Bingler, the lefty. Douglas with the game-winning walk-off RBI in Game 1. He's had a good series so far.
Bingler takes a deep breath and deals on a 1-0. Swinging a pop-up. That should go foul near the press box right behind it. All of the dugouts and the press box are all painted this kind of deep forest green here. It's a very dark color. The dugout, the home dugout with the white exterior, the away dugout with the green exterior, as third pitch misses outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. It's a very green field. You do feel like you're in the forest here.
Yeah, as you said, a lot of trees, and then if you look over the first line of trees, you can kind of see a mountain coming over the top of these trees, and yeah, it's as we were driving up here, there's a lot of forestry.
2-1 misses outside as well. 3-1. Bingler in jeopardy of walking his 3rd of the inning. But to your previous point, it's just beautiful scenery out here on the 2+ hour drive up here to Strasburg. Just driving through the mountains was quite the treat. Here's the 3-1, and Douglas spoils to make it 3-2 with 2 away.
Now you've got you got 1 pitch. Go into it like this pitch is your last, and what are you going to deal? What's your last pitch on earth? What are you going to give?
Bingler out of the stretch with Beaver on 3rd and McCarter on 2nd. Just trying to get out of the inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a pop-up. Look out, that's pretty close to us. That one will bounce, I think, off our dugout and onto the softball field to the left of us. So we'll do it again here after that loud 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, I didn't have my eyes peeled for that one. When you said it was coming towards us, I instantly looked up just to make sure it wasn't in our general vicinity. That could have easily taken out the broadcast.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 already in this inning for Strasburg, just getting started in Game 3. Here's the pitch. Douglas fouls away into the screen behind him. Good battle here between these two. Douglas, an Eastern Kentucky product who has really impressed in the Valley, hitting over 300. Tom Sox are seeking their 5th Valley League title in just 10 years in the league. As the pitch is fouled away here by Duff, it'll be a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Strasburg chasing their 4th title here.
2 of the premier Valley League teams as of the last 10 years, and really since Charlottesville came in It's been Strasburg and Charlottesville, if not in the finals, then either in an earlier round to get to the finals.
Bingler comes set and deals on a 1-2. Swing and a foul tip. I thought maybe that got into the glove of French, but Duff able to stay alive. Duff, the 8-hitter in this lineup, with Brooks Henderson waiting on deck. Still early in this one. Thank you all for tuning in here for what should be an interesting conclusion in what has been a phenomenal series. Bingler comes set once again on a 1-2. Just trying to get out of the inning. Now he deals. Swinging a fly ball into center field. Langley and Hargett are near it. Who wants it? It's Kyle Langley who makes the catch to put his JMU teammate out of the inning. Strasburg does get 2. We're heading to the second here in Game 3 of the Valley League title. Four, 5, 6 due up after the Tom Sox struck out 1, 2, 3 in the first. John Gray goes back to work with the Sox down by 2 in this crucial winner-go-home Game 3. Brock Clayton leads off, the designated hitter. He swings and lines one right to Castillo on a hop. And so not a strikeout, but still an out. And the Tom Sox go 1 out on 1 pitch.
The positive thing about that is getting your bat on the ball, and now that the hitters have seen that, it wasn't a horrible hit from Brock, but it was hit well enough that if it were to find, it had potential to find the gap between first and second, just it was a little too much to the left.
Patrick Nias digs in with 1 out. The first pitch misses inside. Nias has been another guy who's been here since day 1, and he's been pretty good down the stretch this season. A pair of singles yesterday. You know with Patrick that the power is there, but it comes a little more sporadically than you would hope as he swings at the second pitch and it's 1-1.
Yeah, his last home run coming against Waynesboro back towards the end of the regular season, and then he had another one against Harrisonburg and then a grand slam way early. Looking to replicate that today.
Here's the 1-1. Nias swings through. And the Tom Sox are a team that, as Jeremy Rose and I discovered yesterday on our broadcast, they just don't strike out. It's the least amount of times the Tom Sox have waved in the Valley League among all the teams. But this year they haven't been bringing their contact as Nias goes down swinging. That is the 4th strikeout for John Gray.
Yeah, he's dealing really well early, and it's just been his slider motion that's gotten the Sox to chase. We got to change something as the game goes on, and now we've got the second or third lefty in the lineup, and we'll see if French can do better than Langley and Clayton.
So here's Anderson French here with 2 outs in the top of the second. Sox trailing by 2. First pitch, and French whacks it out to center field. Going back and making a catch with the leap is Brett Mosley. Anderson French put a good charge into it, but as the Sox have done all season long, they've lined the ball hard to outfielders. That will do it here for the second inning, and we'll go to the bottom half now. 2-0, Strasburg still ahead. Bottom half of the second here, Alex Bingler's night is done after just one inning, and Dawson Newman, this time wearing half of his original number in 16, is on the mound here for the Sox.
Yeah, Dawson Newman now going to play at VCU, played his college ball last spring in Coastal Carolina, but now another lefty out there on the mound, and after Alex Bingler went one inning, one hit, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts, Randy Tallman and co deemed that it was time for him to exit the playing field and make way for a guy that hasn't seen the playing field in a little bit.
So Newman will get to face 9-1-2, starting with Brooks Henderson, who had an RBI single last night as well as a couple of strikeouts. The first pitch from Newman misses inside. As you mentioned, Newman is committed to play at VCU. He played his first year of college ball at Coastal Carolina. Of course, they went on a run all the way to the College World Series. Second pitch from Newman misses low again here, but I think if you're looking for an early story here in this game, it's just the Tom Sox haven't quite been able to hit the strike zone as much as they've hoped for. Let's see if Newman can change that. The 2-0 misses inside as well. 3 balls, no strikes to the 9-hitter Henderson.
Yeah, that's the thing that they've struggled with, especially early on in outings. The pitchers just can't locate the zone, and that was one of the first things that I noticed out of the Strasburg pitcher was he was able to locate the zone early, and he kept doing that. He's done that now 2 innings.
3-0 pitch. Misses down below the zone. A 4-pitch walk here to start off Newman's outing. That will flip over the lineup here for Brady Bowles, who walked to lead off the bottom of the first, but this is already the second time through the order here. I guess the silver lining for the Sox in this situation is that now that they end up facing the lineup again, it's against a different, or it's with a different pitcher on the mound, so they're still seeing this guy for the first time.
Yeah, it's a new face, same lefty, but a new face.
Newman hits the zone here against Bowles. Dawson has kind of been used in every different circumstance you can think of for the Sox this season. He's started a lot. He's finished games as well in kind of an extended closer role. And now he is here in a big spot, and that ball lined into left field for a no-out single here. First and second, nobody out. Bowles has reached in both of his at-bats.
Yeah, the difference between the Express and the Sox right now is that the hitting from the Express is dropping, and they're getting more line drives. The Sox are kind of flying it out, and that's why the outfielders have been able to catch their balls. And yeah, they're locating the ball better when they're swinging, and they're being a little more patient.
Here's the first pitch, which misses low to Paul Osting here. Osting 0 for 1 with a strikeout. As Newman just tries to reset his concentration on the mound. He looks back at the runner at second and fires. Swinging a foul ball down the line over towards third. Newman just trying to kind of steer the ship here after what's been a rocky first inning and change. Tom Sox already down by 2, and they don't want to let this lead get too far out of control. Here's the pitch from Dawson. Way up high, it gets over the catcher's glove, and both runners will advance 90 feet. 2 in scoring position now, so that wipes out the double play opportunity on the wild pitch.
Yeah, just not the start that you want. Now we get another mound visit, the second mound visit, and just a plus ending of pitching, and it's not the start that the Sox would want. It'll be interesting to see how they go on from here on out. It's still early, and the score is only 2-0. There's a lot of baseball to be played, but if you're the Sox coaching staff, you can't take any chances.
And it's a tough situation here for the Sox because obviously the glaring problem has been that they haven't been able to find the zone consistently. But you also look at, the 3 outs that have been made so far by Tom Sox pitchers. 2 of them have come on strikeouts, and the other one was a hard hit out into center field. So the Tom Sox rely so much on getting ground balls and inducing weak contact, but they haven't been able to do so thus far here.
And it could just be the mixture of pitches that the pitchers are choosing so far. And maybe now is the time to kind of change it up and do something a little different.
Here's the 2-1 from Newman. And that hits the zone for strike 2. So maybe the wise words of Randy Tomlin here will help out his fellow lefty.
He may have a little bit of knowledge in him. Maybe not a whole lot, being the MLB pitcher that he was.
Yeah, only a little bit of knowledge accumulated in a 5-year MLB career as the 2-2 is cut on and missed. Newman picks up his first strikeout. That's Osting's second K of his night, and that puts 1 out on the board here for Eddie Castillo.
And as we mentioned, the wind it's kind of moving sideways, not front and back if you were to think about it from home plate. But that could cause a little bit of trouble out in the outfield if you're an infielder or an outfielder trying to catch the ball, as that first pitch is fouled off to Castillo.
Castillo was hit by a pitch in a 3-2 count in his first at-bat. He swings away there on the first pitch. Now he's behind in the count 0-1. Newman out of the wind, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, nasty breaking ball. Made Castillo look foolish on that one, and it's 0-2.
And whatever Tomlin told him is certainly helping out now.
0-2 count here with 1 out and 2 on. Here's the pitch. Castillo fights it off and fouls it away. 2-0 here early in this Game 3 matchup in the VBL title. 2-0 Strasburg, that is. And they're threatening with another 2 in scoring position. Dawson Newman entered this inning at the beginning of the second here after Alex Bingler just went the opening frame. Tom Sox have gone down in order in their first 2 innings of work at the plate, including only 2 balls that have been put in play. Struck out 4 times.
Yeah, they'll definitely want to lower the strikeout numbers as this game goes on. That's not a winning recipe. You want to get and play the way that you've been playing, which is the small ball formula, singles, and maybe a couple doubles here and there.
0-2 count here. Newman comes set and fires. Check swing, did Castillo go? Yes, he did, says Steve Williams. Strikeout number 2 for Newman, back-to-back Ks. And perhaps as Kaylee Trent, our promotions director, intern lead, brings her dog Rookie, he becomes the good luck charm maybe.
Yeah, also the official mascot of the Tom Sox, a generous and a great addition to the press box when he's come up there.
He was up there yesterday for the big win back at the Cho. As Landon Beaver checks in, the first pitch hits the zone on the outside corner for strike 1. Beaver walked in his first at-bat, so no official AB for him. Beaver, a big kid, plays at University of Alabama, Birmingham, UAB. as he waits on a second pitch and lines that one. Look out down the right field line. That goes foul.
Could have reached out and caught that one if there was no fence over here.
I mean, the way we're standing, we're essentially standing parallel with the fence. So we're, you know, a ball that comes our way, we're not going to get hit with it unless it's a pop-up and it goes over the netting, but definitely gets pretty close to us. Newman ahead in the count here, 0-2 with 2 outs, 2 runners on in a 2-0 deficit. Dawson will step off here. It's a Strasburg team that certainly plays to its strengths with a lot of power, but within a small ballpark. As the 0-2 on Beaver is taken for called strike 3. Good work by Dawson Newman, K-ing the next 3 after letting the first 2 on, and that ends the second inning from First Bank Park. Tom Sox still trailing 2-0. I will trade play-by-play duties here with Landon Weaver. I almost called you Landon Beaver. Landon will take over for the next couple innings. You're listening to Tom Sox Radio here for the VBL Championship.
Luderman, Wine, and Sowers due up for the Sox. The first pitch to Luderman being dealt right now. That one upstairs for ball 1. I'm Landon Weaver alongside Daniel Stein for these next couple of innings before we turn it over to our other counterparts, the Penn State Nittany Lions, on the call for the latter half of this game. The next pitch to Luderman locates the zone in the middle for strike 1, a 1-1 count. No outs here in the bottom or the top of the third. Strasburg leads 2-0 in Game 3 of the Valley Baseball League Championships. John Gray still dealing, and Luderman cuts through that one for a 1-2 count.
I think the name of the game here for the Tom Sox is really just, you have to put the ball in play. You can't keep striking out like this. It's not sustainable, and they started to get it at the end of last inning. Let's see if they can continue that.
The pitch, Luderman lines that one down the third base line. It's going to be deemed foul by Landon Rossolo Schulteis, the third base umpire today, and he'll do it again.
It's good to see Landon Rossolo Schulteis out there at third base after he had to exit last night's game after he took a ball to the head behind the plate.
Gray will come set on the mound and deal to Luderman. He swings and drives that one over to the shortstop. The throw over to Beaver is in time again. 7 batters faced, 7 outs for John Gray so far today. A Bowles to Beaver 6-3 put out. Puts 1 gone here in the top of the third.
Yeah, this ball was pretty hardly hit, but good positioning there from Bowles to make the play in a strong throw.
So now Will Genowine out of Sewanee will dig in the lefty's batter box. The opposite matchup with the right-handed pitcher John Gray. The first pitch, Genowine watches that one go low for ball 1.
This is going to be an interesting at-bat because Genowine, although he hits pretty far down in the order, has brought a kind of level of professionality and ability to work at-bats that a lot of hitters on the Tom Sox haven't this season.
Next pitch to Genowine, inside, ball 2. Genuine, a guy that I'd almost call him your secret weapon. He's at the bottom of the order. You wouldn't think much of him, a guy coming out of JUCO ball, but he plays very gritty. He's one of the guys on the Sox squad that has a lot of collegiate experience as he chops that one over to Castillo. The throw back over to Beaver in time again. 2 are gone here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, just another ground ball here, and I think the Sox are starting to get it, but it's, you know, figuring out this pitcher is getting there a lot slower than they expect. But if there's anything we've learned all season long from this Tom Sox team is that they almost relish the opportunity to play from behind. But at a certain point, you do have to get runs on the board.
So now Gray will deal to Lee Sowers, who cuts through the first pitch for strike number 1. Sowers, about a 5'10" stature, small frame, small strike zone, and it's hard for the pitchers to locate it. He works a lot of walks because of that. John Gray will come set and deal the 0-1. The pitch, Sowers watches that one sail through the zone for strike 2. With 2 gone here, the Sox are down to their last strike in the top of the 3rd inning. Strasburg again holds a 2-0 lead in Game 3 of the Valley Baseball Championship. Gray will come set. Sowers digs in the lefty's batter's box. The 0-2 pitch. That one misses the zone, a bit inside for ball 1.
This is kind of where the balance of the Tom Sox order comes in handy. There's a lot of guys late in this lineup, Genuine, Luderman, Sowers, that have the ability to work counts and get on base. That's not very typical for other Valley League teams.
The pitch, Sowers, swing and a miss. Gray with his 5th strikeout of the game retires the Sox 1-2-3 for the 3rd time today, and they'll have to wait till the top of the 4th for another chance to get on the board. 2-0 Strasburg into the bottom of the 3rd. Five, 6, and 7 due up for the Express here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Express still lead 2-0 here in the final game of the Valley League Series. Winner takes it all. The Jim Lineweaver Cup is at stake here in Strasburg, Virginia. Jake McCarter, the left fielder, up first for the Express in their purple and white camo shirts. The pitch from Newman, swinging a miss from McCarter for strike 1.
I think the name of the game here for the Tom Sox defensively is just, hey, as long as our offense is going to be quiet, then they got to make the Express offense quiet as well.
That one lined into left center field over to Will Genuine, and it's another base hit for the Express. It's Jake McCarter's 2nd after his 2 RBI double in the bottom of the 1st.
Kind of get a better sense of why Strasburg really likes McCarter. I mean, yesterday he was probably a matter of feet away from a grand slam that would have completely changed the game, but unfortunately for Strasburg, that one went foul. But today here, he's got a single and a double.
It's going to bring up big Brett Mosley out of center field. The first pitch to him strikes the middle of the zone for strike 1. 0-1 now. No gone here, bottom of the 3rd. with Jake McCarter over on first, guarded tightly by Luderman. Newman will come set, the lefty dealing to the other lefty. Mosley swing and a miss. 0-2. Dawson donning the number 16 jersey today. His number 32 jersey is somewhere not to be seen. He'll come set and deal the 0-2 to Brett Mosley. The pitch. That one popped up foul, and we'll do it again.
Mosley struck out in his first at-bat here, and that was against Bingler. So if you're Newman here, it's a new arm, but it's another lefty, so Newman should have the platoon advantage.
The pitch right down the middle for a called strike three. Number 4 for Dawson Newman today. Really doing well so far, Dawson. After a slow start, you know, a walk and a single in his first 2 at-bats, he's now struck out 4 of the last 5 batters he's faced, and now against an athletic freak of nature, Jay Douglas. The pitch to the right-hander nearly takes him in the ankles. It'll be ball 1.
Yeah, he was showing bunt there, and if I heard Patrick Nias, I would start playing closer into the grass if Douglas is serious about squaring, because he's got some wheels on him.
Newman comes set, will deal the 1-0. No bunt is shown. A tapper over to Nias. He gloves it. The throw over to Luderman. In time. A cool, calm, and collected play there from Pat Nias out of Gardner-Webb over to the Hokie at first base for out number 2.
I think Patrick Nias' defense over at third, as really all of the Tom Sox defense, has vastly improved this season. He chooses not to charge it on the high hop. He plays it on the short hop and puts a good, strong throw in there. And where we're standing, Landon, we can basically see every call. So if the umpires mess up, we're going to know it. But it was a nice play there from Nias to retire the speedy Douglas.
It's going to bring up Logan Duff, the brother of Tom Sox pitcher Lane Duff, with 2 gone here. Bottom of the 3rd. McCarter over on second. Duff takes a hack out of that one. Sowers gloves it over to first. Luderman makes the grab for out number 3. So after a leadoff single, the Sox retire 3 straight, and they go into the top of the 4th, still down 2-0. Top of the order, ready to dig in for the Sox. It's Hargett, Langley on deck, and Jackson Soroy in the hole for the men in green today, facing off against the formidable foe in the Strasburg Express, down 2-0 in Game 3 of the Valley Baseball League Championship. Top of the 4th now, and the Strasburg Express have had 3 hits, the Sox none. John Gray dealing a really, really great game right now.
Yeah, he's been good, and as you'll hear him in a couple minutes, but Jeremy Rose was now kind of off the hook today, but now will be on the broadcast in a couple minutes, was telling us it's a 4-pitch rotation for him. He's got a sinker, 4-seam fastball, splitter, and slider. It's really just, it's a lot more pitches and a lot more movement than the Tom Sox have seen in recent memory.
So Perry Hargett will dig in, trying to be the first to get on base against John Gray. The first pitch to Perry. He'll take a low ball for a 1-0 count. No outs on the board here, even though the scoreboard shows 2. And now they have fixed it. And there's 1 ball on the scoreboard. John Gray comes set, the signature squat, and he'll pitch to Perry. He takes a called strike 1, 1-1.
Tom Sox, I think, have done a lot more chasing than they usually do. Haven't really been able to figure out the spin yet, but will the second time through the order yield some more results?
Perry swings and misses on that one, 1-2. His slider is looking really, really strong here. It's getting the Sox to chase it. That may mean that they need to swing a little earlier to catch it on its down slope. Gray squats, comes set, deals to Perry. Into the dirt and over to the backstop. The first blemish on his pitching resume that we've seen all day, and that only evens the count at 2 apiece.
Yeah, I think this is something that the Tom Sox can build on, because a lot of Gray's stuff relies on throwing the ball in the dirt. If they can just recognize it out of the hand, it's going to be a ball most of the time.
The 2-2 pitch, Perry watches that one sail into the dirt as well. Now Perry has worked a full count after being down 1-2. Trying to be the first Sox to get on base today. John Gray will come set and deal the pitch. Perry Hargett swings and drives that one into center field. Coming over to get his 3 Express players. And Mosley will make the grab for the F8.
Perry able to take the high fastball there. I think maybe that would have been ball 4, but Hargett has really good bat-to-ball skills. It's not necessarily a bad swing, but he just got under that one.
And so Hargett will fly out to Brett Mosley in center field. And the many bullpen players are letting John Gray know he's working a perfect game as he deals strike 1 to Kyle Langley. And umpire Steve Williams telling the bullpen that he can't talk to the other team, even though that's been happening all series. Langley drives that one over to Castillo. The throw over to Beaver is in time, and it's like clockwork for the Express. They've been doing it since the beginning of this game. Another 4-3 putout.
Yeah, the Sox haven't really just been able to find the gaps in the infield. Sooner or later they will, but they're going to have to hit the ball harder here if they want a better chance of getting back in this game. It's only a 2-0 game. It feels like it's a bigger deficit for the Sox, but it's only 2-0.
Gray will deal to Soroy. It's upstairs for ball 1. And now first base umpire is really getting into it with the Tom Sox dugout. They may not even be talking to the pitcher. Who knows? The pitch, the 1-0, locates the bottom half of the zone for strike 1. A 1-1 count, 2 gone here, top of the 4th. And the Sox are in a 2-0 deficit against the Express. The 1-1 pitch. Soroy taps that one over to Bowles. He'll throw over to Beaver in time for out number 3, and that's 12 batters faced, 12 outs for John Gray to begin this game. And we'll come back after the break. Express still lead 2-0 here, bottom of the fourth. Due up for them is Brooks Henderson, who walked in his first at-bat of the game. Dawson Newman still on the mound for the Sox. The first pitch, Henderson swings in right into the glove of Lee Sowers for out number 1. A first pitch, F4 for the Sox.
Yeah, just what Newman needed there. 1 pitch, 1 out. And just the longer he can stay in this game and keep the Express off the board, the better.
Jeremy Rose currently warming up to our left, as he'll get on the broadcast soon. First pitch to Brady Bowles is a swinging strike. Dawson Newman with a nasty slider there to get him chasing for strike 1. Newman comes set, he'll deal Bowles. Steps out of the way of that one as it sailed low for a 1-1 count. 1 gone here, bottom of the fourth. Sox down 2-0. Newman will deal Bowles. Stares at that one as it splits the middle for 1-2. Newman again will come set and deal the pitch, the 1-2, just above for an even 2-2 count. Newman with that distinct Coastal Carolina glove in his left hand, or his right hand, will deal the 2-2 pitch, and Bowles lines that one right into Dawson Newman's glove. One of the most nonchalant outs you'll ever see for 2 gone here, bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, just a little nonchalant L1 there from Dawson Newman. Just look what I found. Nice play there. We've seen that before. Ryan Pugh had one of those not too long ago in Stanton, and now Newman's got one.
So that'll bring up Paul Osting, who has struck out in both of his first 2 at-bats. He taps that one foul for 0-1. Struck out against Bingler in the first, Newman in the second, and now he's up to face Newman again. Will the pitcher have the win again? Newman will come set, the lefty, ready to deal the 0-1 pitch. He swings and drives that one over to the glove of Soroy. The throw over to Luderman. He picks it up and gets the out in time. A quick 1-2-3 inning against Strasburg, and the Sox will go back to the top of the 5th, looking to do some damage. 2-0 Strasburg, about the halfway point of the Game 3 of the Valley League Championships.
John Gray still on the mound through 4 innings of perfect baseball here at First Bank Park. I am Jeremy Rose, joined alongside my broadcast partner, Luke Stefanisco, for the back half of this game right here in Strasburg. The Sox face a 2-0 deficit and have yet to put a hit on the board and yet to put a runner on the base paths here, as the first pitch to Brock Clayton is a swinging strike 1. Gray will kick and fire a check swing from Clayton. We'll see if he went. No, he did not, says third base umpire Landon Rochlo Schulteis. And the count will even up at 1-1. We thank you guys for tuning in to today's radio-only broadcast and tuning into today's Valley Baseball League Championship. The 1-1 pitch fouled straight back from Clayton, 1-2.
Yeah, Jeremy, it's an honor to be here, but I got to say, John Gray is spinning this baseball, moving his pitches laterally across the plate, and it's been impressive to watch, but not a good omen for the Sox right now, as Gray's been incredible on the mound for the Express.
Yeah, through the first couple of innings, got to go kind of behind home plate and watch him pitch. Every single pitch has life to it. Everything has movement. His 1-2 to Clayton bounced in the dirt to the backstop, 2-2. But every single pitch has movement. Every single pitch has life, and it's truly hard to kind of get a grasp on. He likes every pitch in every scenario. There's not one pitch he's been relying on more than others. He's got a splitter, he's got a sinker, he's got a four-seam fastball, and he's got a slider, and everything just has movement. He'll come set once more on the 2-2 against the lefty Clayton. That 2-2 pitch on the inside, but it misses just a bit too far in. Will run full.
Yeah, Gray, his last appearance was the first game of the playoffs for the Express. He blanked Winchester over 5 innings, only allowing 2 hits. He's already hit 5 strikeouts today, and that was his high against Winchester.
Gray will come set here on the 3-2 pitch. He'll kick and fire, and it's fouled away. We'll get another.
This is a good at-bat from Brock Clayton. It's something I want the Sox to do, as Gray is really going to give Strasburg length in a bullpen of which they don't have a lot of arms available. So Brock working a long at-bat here is going to go a long way for the Sox in this game.
See just how long it can last. The 3-2 once more. Gray rocks and fires. Swing and a miss, and that's another strikeout for John Gray. He racks up his 6th of the game for out number 1 here in the 5th.
It's impressive. He went to the off-speed stuff again, and I mean, it's been great. The splitter, slider, sinker, fastball combo is just a lethal combination to these Sox hitters, something I haven't seen really a lot of this season, and it's showing right now.
And that at-bat worked by Brock Clayton up to what I think turned out to be a 7-pitch at-bat. Didn't do a whole lot, only 49 pitches on the day for John Gray through these 5 innings. He's worked quickly and efficiently. On the ground from Patrick Neas, handled by Castillo. He'll make the throw over to first. It's in time for out number 2, and that's now 4 2/3 of utter perfection from John Gray on the mound.
And there's no other way to describe it. He's forced weak contact. The only hard contact he's given up in this ball game was to the man at the plate, Anderson French, who maybe missed a home run by about 15 feet. And again, I believe he got a little bit under a sinker, in which gave it some topspin, and the ball didn't carry as far as I think it typically would if it was a normal fastball.
Can French attack once more here? He was put the best swing on a ball that we've seen so far today. First pitch he sees on the ground up the middle towards short, handled by Bowles. He'll make the throw over to first. And we're through 4.5 innings of work here. And John Gray just capped off his 5th inning of perfect game baseball. We'll head to the bottom of that 5th inning. Right here, the Sox still trail 2-0. The bottom of the 5th inning right here in the VBL Championship Series. It's Game 3, all knotted up at 1-1, the deciding game. And John Gray has taken matters into his own hands so far through the first 4.5 frames here in Strasburg. There is a left-hander getting loose in their bullpen, as Gray hasn't gone more than 5 innings all season. But we will turn to the Sox defensively. Dawson Newman still out on the mound for Charlottesville. came in the second inning and has worked 3 pretty solid ones so far. He's down 1-0. His second pitch is a called strike into Eddie Castillo. It'll be Castillo, Beaver, and McCarter. So presumably 2 guys you want to get out, and then a guy in Jake McCarter who's kind of had the Sox number so far today. The 1-1 pitch in the air down the left field, towards left field, and Will Genuine will handle the line out for out number 1.
I like having Will Genuine out there. After a couple defensive miscues earlier on in his Tom Sox tenure, he's really locked it down, and he's been solid in the outfield. He moves a little bit faster than a guy like Walker Buchanan, who arguably still has made some great defensive plays in the outfield, but that's the advantage of having those 2 guys to platoon, is they provide different advantages for putting them in the field or at the plate for Randy Tomlin.
It'll now turn to Landon Beaver, who's 0 for 1 today, got caught looking in the second inning for the 3rd strikeout of that inning, and Newman's 3rd strikeout, and then walked in the first. He'll take the first pitch outside for ball 1.
And Newman's been a godsend for the Sox today, as Alex Bingler had a not-so-hot start, and Newman's kind of come in and cooled down the bats for the Express so far.
That one in the air towards right field, going back towards the fence, taking a couple of steps in is Perry Hargett, and he will make the play for out number 2. So 2 quick ones for the Sox defensively, and for Dawson Newman, who's kind of caught himself a little groove here.
Yeah, after the walk and the base hit to start his outing, he's really found his pitches. He's been able to move the off-speed stuff. The fastball's finally starting to be there. And it's huge for the Sox to kind of equalize what John Gray's doing on the mound, but they haven't been able to find the bats. That's something they need to do to win this game.
It'll now be Newman versus McCarter, who's 2 for 2. He's halfway to the cycle with the 2 easy ones. Picked up a double in the first inning that brought the first and the only 2 runs onto the board, and then had a single back in the 3rd inning. It'll be a lefty on righty matchup with the lefty and Brett Mosley awaiting on deck. Newman will kick and fire the first pitch on the bottom of the strike zone for called strike 1. A pretty day out here. The sun starts to set. Had some cloud coverage earlier, but things have settled in nicely. The second pitch inside, 1-1.
And there was a threat of rain earlier. We had some on the way down from Charlottesville, but again, beautiful night here. Temps have cooled, and a slight breeze is really helping. Might help aid some balls flying out of the ballpark.
The 1-1 pitch fouled away, 1-2.
Since Newman allowed that hit and walk, he's really managed to work ahead in a lot of his at-bats, and that's why I think he's found success. Is he's attacking these Express batters that I don't think have been attacked much this season, as they've been probably the most feared offense in the VBL. They haven't really seen much strikes, and that's been the key for Newman, is he's thrown strikes, forcing them to kind of have to swing at pitches they might not really want to swing at.
Can Newman work through the 5th right here? From the windup, the 1-2 pitch goes upstairs. It's fouled away almost into the dugout. Scares everybody off of the fence and knocks Walker Buchanan to the floor.
That's a big man going down. And almost everybody went down. I'm surprised it was Walker, the one that took the fall. I thought I was going to hit Jesus Cesare on the edge of the dugout. Grateful he's okay. He's already a little banged up.
Yeah, doing all right. That next pitch fouled away again, so we'll see a 2-2 here. That one was in for a ball, not a foul ball. Either way, 2-2, 2 outs on the board. Nobody on the base paths. Newman kicks and fires and gets a swing and a miss right there. Dawson Newman sits down his 5th batter of the game. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning. The Sox still chasing 2.
Knows it.
The fate now falls onto the hands or the bat of Will Genuine, who through 5 1/3 will be up for his 2nd time through the order. Had a ground out in his last at bat, takes the first pitch for a called strike. And Genuine, a bright spot for the Sox. As you mentioned, defensively last inning also on the base paths, just a guy who truly wants to win out here. The second pitch he sees, he'll swing through, down 0-2.
He's going to have to battle back here. Gray's got an arsenal, and he's going to use it here against Genuine. I believe the Express have sat down the reliever in their bullpen. They're going to let Gray go as long as he wants.
Final game of the season. Have faith in your pitching staff and in your starter on the mound. The 0-2 pitch way upstairs, 1-2.
Ironically, Gray's longest outing was that game against Winchester. He's pitched 4 a couple times, 3 innings a couple times, but 5 innings against the Royals, blanked them, was his longest of the season.
Well, come set here. The 1-2 delivery to Genuine in the dirt. Genuine thought about it but holds off. Now 2-2.
It would be a good spark for Genuine to find his way on base, help out the Soxes. Top of the order, certainly would love to get a third crack at John Gray.
And the groans start to commence from the Sox dugout. That's Saxon Roberts leading the charge. Can it charge something into Genuine's bat right here? Gray will kick and fire the 2-2 pitch in the dirt once more. Will run full.
Well, Saxon Roberts, a phenomenal outing here on Monday against the Express. Nothing to hang his head about with 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, and did allow the winning run, but Sox were low on arms, and Roberts provided some stability in a rough time.
Big spot right here for Genuine. Chance for the first base runner of the game. Gray's 3-2 pitch chopped on the ground towards the right side. Castillo will handle on the backhand and makes the easy throw over for out number 2. And John Gray, cool as a cucumber, on the mound so far tonight.
That's one of the better ways to describe it there, Jeremy. He's been collected. He's not been fazed by anything the Sox have done. The French hard contact didn't faze him at all. He went right back at, and next at bat, he would get Luderman to ground out, work another perfect inning. I mean, it's been beautiful to watch. And
first pitch to Sowers. Popped down the third base line and out of play for strike 1. Sowers today struck out swinging on one of the dirtier pitches I've seen today, at least for my time spent behind home plate, on a wrinkled slider on the inside. Shook off 3 pitches, went back to that pitch on the 3-2, and it paid off. Sowers down 0-1. A chopper on the ground towards the right side. Castillo once more will handle. Once more makes the throw over to Landon Beaver. And once more, it's another inning of perfection from John Gray. We are through 6 innings of baseball here in Strasburg, and John Gray has yet to allow a base runner. Strasburg will look to pad the lead. It's Dawson Newman back to the mound to shut things down once more for Charlottesville when we return. It's bottom 6 here in Strasburg. Brett Mosley to the dish. It'll be Mosley, Douglas, then Duff to look to pad this 2-run lead for Strasburg against Dawson Newman, who's worked through 4 innings of good baseball so far. That one popped up in the air towards the right side. Perry Hargett settles underneath that one, and it's out number 1. And Newman, although didn't start out this game and the 2 runs were given against Alex Bingler, has given up just 2 hits and has nothing short of cruised through these past 3 1/3.
Yeah, I think after the first 2 batters he allowed base runners, I think you could say he understands it now. He's been a way better pitcher in that regard. He's gotten strikeouts, he's gotten weak contact, and that's been a godsend for the Sox that they need some length out of any of their pitchers. And again, they have guys, Riley Rorty, Trevor Booten, Ian White's available, but Dawson Newman giving them this length gives them options out of the pen.
His first pitch to Douglas, a called strike. His second pitch, Douglas thinks about squaring, pulls back instead, 1-1.
Douglas is fast. We've seen that in multiple games. His workout in center field has been second to none this series, but Express made an odd move to move him to right here for this game, putting Mosley out in center field, who's been fine.
That 1-1 pitch upstairs, 2-1. And really hasn't been challenged out there defensively. We saw that range last night in Charlottesville. This is a much smaller outfield, a lot less ground to cover. And we haven't really seen Mosley have to make any crazy plays. The 2-1 pitch, this one to Kyle Langley out in center. He'll take a couple steps back and make the play for the second out, so 2 quick outs. 1 to right and 1 to center. Brings Logan Duff up to the plate against Dawson Newman.
And Jeremy, it doesn't feel like crunch time is how fast this game has gone, but it really is for the Sox. And we're almost into the 7th inning, and they still haven't secured a hit, and we're base runner. Have to find something soon.
Duff to the plate, 0 for 2 today. Flew out in the first and had a 4-3 ground out in the second inning. First pitch he sees in the sky into center field. Langley comes in. He'll make the play. And another efficient inning from Dawson Newman keeps the Sox in this one. We will head to the top of the 7th inning. Charlottesville chasing their first hit and first run still of this ballgame. The top of the order due up here in the top of the 7th inning, and it's a tall task ahead for Charlottesville. They're through 2 times in the order. Nobody has recorded a hit. Nobody has reached first base. And the Sox are into crunch time here in VBL Championship game number 3. It'll be John Gray back on the mound again. The first pitch to Hargett is a called strike on the bottom of the zone.
As I mentioned last inning, time's running out. You have 9 outs to play with here, 2 runs absolutely necessary to prolong the game. It's not going to be an easy task against Gray.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss from Perry Hargett, down 0-2. For Hargett today, a strikeout to lead off the game and a fly out to center in the 4th inning. And at this point, everybody in the lineup is due for a hit. Gray, his 0-2 pitch to Hargett in the dirt, 1-2.
Contrary to what you might think, the Sox dugout is still pretty much in this. They're making noise, trying to make things hard for Gray.
Definitely rallying behind Dawson Newman on the mound, who's delivered 5 innings of shutout baseball to truly keep the Sox in this one. Gray, the 1-2 pitch upstairs, 2-2.
Yeah, Newman's been the spark plug, and to be quite honest, without him, I don't know where the Sox would be in this game.
Not even just the spark plug, but essentially the power outlet for the Sox. With no energy at all, this team would be drained. Newman's truly kept him alive so far. Hargett in a 2-2 count, the righty-righty matchup against John Gray. Gray will kick and fire into play off the glove of Gray. Castillo can't handle it, and the Sox have a base runner on the E4 from Castillo at second.
Well, goodbye to the perfect game. However, there is something special still going for John Gray. The error sees to that, but the Sox do have a base runner.
Hargett now on first. The perfect game gone. The no-hitter still intact. Hargett takes off on the first pitch. Chopper back to the mound. Gray will not have a play to second. Instead, he'll make the play over to first. So an effective sacrifice right there from Kyle Langley. Moves Perry Hargett over to second base. The Sox have a runner in scoring position here for Jackson Soroy.
And this gives one of their best RBI producers a good chance with 1 out to bring home the Sox first run of the game. Again, it's going to be a tall task. Gray still hasn't allowed a hit in this ball game, but if there's anybody in the Sox lineup that can create contact, it's Jackson Soroy.
Got a high five from Coy Tomlin, and that should breathe life into the Sox right here. Hargett off at second base. Soroy at the plate. The first pitch from Gray up and in, ball 1.
You hear the Sox dugout making some noise. Man, they have come alive with a simple error, allowing the runner to reach base. They've gotten confidence, and hope it translates to a big inning.
Gray from the stretch. Hargett off of second base. The first base runner for Charlottesville all night. The pitch downstairs to Soroy, 2-0.
Again, Gray hasn't gone this long in a game all season, so it is a bit of uncharted waters for him. You don't know how he handles these later innings of a start.
And still no movement out in that bullpen for Strasburg. They're going to let Gray roll this one out. He kicks and fires to Soroy on the ground towards the left side. Handled by Bowles. He'll go to third, and he'll get the tag on Perry Hargett. Hargett took off on the swing and will be tagged out at third base to chop the runner out of scoring position. And effectively, the Sox have a replacement runner on base, but the runner now out of scoring position.
Wouldn't surprise me to see Soroy take off. Gray really hasn't held on. Well, he didn't hold on Perry Hargett, only base runner he's allowed.
Soroy off of first. Clayton now at the plate. Soroy holds the pitch inside to Brock Clayton for ball 1. A ground out and a strikeout for Clayton today.
Clayton's one of the guys capable of, well, I'll just say it, tying this game up with 1 swing. Probably has the most pop out of any of the lefties on this roster.
A big bat in the cleanup spot for Charlottesville. Jackson Soroy off of first, reached on the fielder's choice. Hargett tagged out at third. Clayton will cut through it, 1-1. You can feel some overall energy back in the building for Charlottesville. If you can hear Coy Tomlin, it's hit the ball, Brock, needs a base hit.
Strasburg does have an arm up in their bullpen. It'll be a righty now. We'll get the number when possible to verify. We can't see because of the black sheet draped over the fence.
Hard angle to pick up on. Soroy off of first. Pitch to Clayton, cut through, 1-2.
Brock's a little tardy on the fastball. Gray's got options here on the 1-2 count. Guy wants to attack Brock Clayton. Go slider, could go splitter, which I've seen most batters today go down swinging with that splitter.
Loves the splitter, especially against lefties. It breaks away from him. The 1-2 pitch, Soroy takes off. The pitch upstairs, the throw down into the outfield. It goes. Jackson Soroy will be on third base after a stolen base and an error from Logan Duff behind the dish. And just like that, Charlottesville has a runner 90 feet away to cut into this 2-run lead.
Clayton had an RBI single in a situation very similar to this yesterday with Kyle Langley working his way around third and Clayton singled to bring him in. This time it's Soroy. Can Brock Clayton replicate that at bat?
Soroy can cut the lead down to 1 if he crosses home. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt, gets away from Duff. Soroy breaks for the plate, the throw, Not in time, and the Sox are on the board here in Strasburg.
Well, as perfect as John Gray's outing was, the Sox have now found a way to get one on the board, and it's through their small ball technique of finding a way to cross bases, and Soroy taking off for second, forcing the errant throw down to the bag and taking third, and then the wild pitch taking the plate. The Sox are back in this game, and they still haven't recorded a hit.
And however it can happen for Charlottesville is how it's happening right now. Soroy across home to represent run number 1 for Charlottesville, and after still no hits, a Perry Hargett ball in play that resulted in a tip off the glove of Gray and an error from Castillo brought some life back into Charlottesville. He was tagged out at third, but Jackson Soroy put himself into scoring position and brought himself home, scoring on the wild pitch. The pitch to Clayton, he'll cut through it for strike 3 to end the frame. But we're through 6.5, and although without a hit, Charlottesville now has a run on the board, and they'll face a 1-run deficit. Dawson Newman back out for yet another inning when we return. Dawson Newman out yet again, this time for the 7th inning, and this time he's got some run support from the offense. 1 run comes across in the top of the 7th inning, and he will fire his first pitch on the outside to Brooks Henderson. But Charlottesville gets one back in the top of the 7th. Still no hits on the board, but some life breathed into the dugout for the Sox. Second offering to Henderson. This time it's a called strike, 1-1.
Yeah, the run acquired in typical Tom Sox fashion. I mean, simple small ball, an error gives you a base runner, and you find a way to get that base runner to the plate, whether it be by wild pitches and errors, and the Sox made it work.
The 1-1 pitch from Newman misses. It looked to be a bit upstairs. Henderson kind of ducked into it and got the call to go his way. Newman from the left side kicks and fires. The 2-1 pitch. An ugly swing from Henderson, but they say he didn't go. Looked pretty clear to me that he went around, but the umpire says he held up. Now a 3-1 pitch from Dawson Newman, fouled away, will go full.
And Newman fell behind, but he worked back to a full count. 1 pitch away from getting an out here.
No pitch as important as the next one. The 3-2 from Newman. On the ground towards the left side, charging is Soroy. He'll bobble it, and he can't make the play. So Henderson will reach to lead off the inning on the E6 from Soroy. Would have been a rough play regardless. Henderson, a lot of speed at the bottom of the order. Soroy had to charge into what's become some wet grass on the infield as the sun has started to set and the mildew has started to work its way into the ground.
That's a tough play to make. And he had it in his glove, just couldn't get the clean transfer to the hand, and it's kind of when it popped out.
Effective still so far from Newman. He'll now face the top of the order and Brady Bowles. First pitch misses, ball 1.
And Dawson's doesn't need to get phased by that error. It was a good job to induce soft contact. Soroy just had a tough play where that ball was hit.
The next pitch to Bowles is a called strike, 1-1. Newman on the mound. Henderson off of first. A 1-1 pitch in the dirt, now 2-1. Falling behind yet again here, this time to the leadoff in Bowles, who's 1 for 2 with a walk and a single so far today. Newman's pitch just misses inside. 3-1.
Yeah, tough one there for Dawson. Thought he might get the call. Home plate umpire disagrees, and now he's got to find a way to work back to another full count.
A pickoff move before that one, and Henderson is back standing up. Back on the rubber. From the stretch will come set and fire. The 3-1 pitch, a chopper towards the left side. Going to be a rough play for Nias. He makes a throw over to first. Is it in time? No, it's not. And lucky infield single right there for Brady Bowles. Puts the first 2 runners on base. It's now first and second for Strasburg, and nobody out.
And it's 2 back-to-back infield hits that really didn't have a lot of juice on them that end up garnering 2 base runners for the Express. And again, it's just a little bit of luck sometimes. It's all you need in baseball, and that's what those 2 pieces were there for Strasburg.
Pieces might even be a stretch for how softly hit both of those balls in play were. But it turns into 2 base runners either way. And now Newman will have to work into this spot that has not really been his fault that it's been created. Got weak contact twice, just couldn't get the results he was looking for. A bunt now onto the right side of the mound. Newman collects, flips over to first. Both runners will move into scoring position after Osting's sack bunt. And it'll now be Eddie Castillo in the 3 spot with a chance to bring in a pair of runners and potentially put this one out of reach as we head to the back 2 innings.
It was a good job by Dawson there on the bunt to stay collected. He's a lefty. He had to come onto the left side of the mound, which he had to kind of flip his hands, flip his body around, and make the play. Stayed cool, didn't rush it or anything. Just a nice, easy flip to Luderman for the out.
Castillo 0 for 2 today. Got hit by a pitch in the first inning and scored the second run of the game for Strasburg. Also has mixed in a strikeout and a lineout. First pitch downstairs, ball 1.
And I think we have to mention, Jeremy, that we didn't know that Dawson Newman would even be here today. He had left after his last appearance in Stanton. Now he's back. Going to try and help the Sox win this title, and it's a valiant effort.
2-0 pitch called, strike 1. Ian White, the right-hander, getting loose for the Sox. We talked about him being available after throwing just 19 pitches last night through an inning and a third, and he's the next man up right now for Charlottesville. We'll see how long the leash is for Dawson Newman. The 1-1 pitch into Castillo. Fouled straight back, 1-2.
And regardless, Newman's made it tough for these Express hitters. Again, you've seen the weak contact. That's been largely the amount of hits they've gotten off of him, apart from the single all the way back in the second inning from Brady Bowles.
Not a whole lot against the lefty Newman, who had a good time coming back into Charlottesville, pitching for the Sox after a couple of days off. From the windup, his 1-2 pitch fouled away. We'll get another.
And Castillo's going to work these at-bats. He's a tough guy to get out. Makes a lot of solid contact. He reached on the hit-by-pitch back in the first, struck out in the second, had that line out to Will Genuine in the fifth that I thought might find some grass.
Newman gets the sign he's looking for. The 1-2 into the right-hander in the dirt, 2-2.
There's no relief behind Castillo with Landon Beaver, who's not recorded a hit tonight. He might be due.
A little weight in the lefty-lefty matchup on deck. And Newman will step off the mound saying he can't really pick up signs right now, and this was a problem that plagued the Sox a couple of nights ago and saw Anderson French have to paint his nails. Maybe we'll turn to that one again here through the back 2 innings. Newman will kick and fire on the ground towards the left side. The throw home from Soroy. It's going to be in time. Henderson tagged out at the plate. Bowles stays at second, and Jackson Soroy with a heads-up play to save a run from getting on board. And it's now runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Beautifully executed play there by Soroy. The infield kind of in on the grass. Soroy, a sliding stab of the weak ground ball, and immediately had no thought of going anywhere else but the plate, and manages to get Brooks Henderson by a couple steps.
So now 3 ground balls hit towards the left side have picked up a base runner via an error, a base runner via an infield single, and then a fielder's choice that went home. So 3 pieces of soft contact have yielded nothing so far for Strasburg this frame. Dawson Newman now faces the lefty Landon Beaver, who'll take the first pitch downstairs for ball 1.
And it's a big at-bat in the grand scheme of this ball game. Beaver could really open it up were he to find the outfield grass and maybe a gap or two, but Newman gets an out here. It's a big confidence boost for the Sox.
And no at-bat bigger than the next one. Dawson Newman will kick and fire on the 1-0. Did he get a swing from Beaver? They'll say he did not. Barely held up his swing there. Looked like he had potentially brought his hands through the zone. Rochelo Schultz says otherwise. It's now 2-0 in favor of the Strasburg first baseman. Lefty on lefty, the 2-0 pitch inside, 3-0.
I don't hate Dawson Newman working around Landon Beaver here. Ian White's up in the bullpen. If Sox are going to make a move, it'd most likely be after this at-bat. But you do have a chance here in a 3-0 count to battle back and attack a guy like Landon Beaver, who might not be expecting you to attack on this count.
Could be the last batter for Dawson Newman here this evening, regardless of the result. Newman's 3-0 pitch, chopped foul. He had the green light on the 3-0 and puts it into the Tom Sox dugout.
It makes sense to give a guy like Beaver the green light. Obviously, we project he'll be the Valley Baseball League MVP. There's not a lot of competition. Led the league in RBIs and home runs, was top 5 in average. Just an incredibly impressive season.
So you have one more spark in him right here. And we will have to wait a minute as we're going to get a mound visit right here between French and Newman as they'll decide what to do on the 3-1.
And interesting to see what this could yield. I'm not exactly sure what French Newman could be conversing about. Maybe about the signals, as we mentioned earlier, tough time picking them up, or maybe just the game plan of attack here against Beaver. I mean, he's a guy you don't want to lose a pitch to, so and maybe it's simple as eliminating a pitch. You don't want to lose that spot. Maybe a off-speed pitch you don't want to hang over the plate, have Beaver open this game up.
It could also be something with Bowles at second, who's been there for a couple of batters now, potentially picking up on the signs and on the signals and relaying them over to Beaver at the plate. So he'll have to recollect this time through. And Newman will come set once more. Runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 3-1 pitch flared into right field. Doesn't have enough on it. Genuine back, and it's out of here. Landon Beaver to the opposite field for a 3-run shot, and he might have just put this one out of reach for the Express.
There's a reason why he's the Valley Baseball League MVP, and though the dimensions to left field are very short, it's still an impressive piece of hitting to go the other way on a pitch like that, and very well maybe the end of the ball game for the Tom Sox. They're going to have a big hole to climb out of, and just a rough way to end the outing for Dawson Newman. What was an admirable effort from the future VCU Ram.
And a very fired up Landon Beaver. Didn't necessarily have choice words for the players on the field and the guys in the Sox dugout, but was absolutely fired up and was letting everybody know about it. So Newman will step out of this outing right here. We'll step aside, and after 5 solid innings from Dawson Newman, 5 shutdown innings from Dawson Newman, he faced some trouble with some infield singles and some infield miscues, and that will now turn things over to Ian White, who will have to protect what has now become a 3-run inning for the Express. We'll step aside right here. Charlottesville trails 5-1. Ian White to the mound with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Charlottesville now in a 5-1 hole after an emphatic opposite field home run off the bat of Landon Beaver. Might have potentially put this one out of reach for the Sox. And see if White can breathe some life back in along with the crowd as well. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled away from Jake McCarter, who's 2 for 3 today. A single, a double, and a strikeout.
Yeah, White was masterful yesterday in his inning in the third of work, helping the Sox kind of stay together after they went down late in that game.
Been masterful all year. We'll need some perfection here to keep things where they're at. I'll spike the pitch into McCarter. It's now 2-1. White back onto the rubber. Squaring off against McCarter from the windup. The righty on righty matchup. The 2-1 pitch misses outside. 3-1 now in favor of the Express batter. White now faces a 3-1 hole against the 5-spot hitter Jake McCarter. He'll deal from the windup once more. This one also into left field. Genuine has a read on it though, and he'll make the play right against the left field line to end the frame, but not before Strasburg puts 3 up. They now lead 5-1, and the Sox have 6 outs to go to get things back to either even or take the lead of their own. I'll turn things over to Luke Stefanisco on play-by-play the rest of the way. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the 8th.
Top of the 8th inning here at First Bank Park. Luke Stefanisco and Jeremy Rose on the call for VBL Championship game number 3. And John Gray for the Express has been nothing short of spectacular today, working into his 8th inning of this outing. Still has yet to allow a hit. Allowed his first run last inning, though unearned, courtesy of a couple base runners and an error or two. Express took a 5-1 lead on a 3-run home run from Landon Beaver. He went the opposite way. The first pitch from Gray missed up high to Nias. Now the second pitch down low in the dirt. 2-0 now the count. Nias, much like the other Sox batters, hasn't had much success today against Gray. So here's the 2-0. Nias takes, and he will work it into a 3-0 count. So a good start here for the Sox in the top of the 8th. Nias, 1 pitch away from reaching base. 3-0. It's a called strike right down the middle of the plate. And Gray locates with the fastball to make it a 3-1 count.
And for a game that's been characterized by a lot of, small contact and a whole lot of nothing,
3-1 to Nias. Called strike with the fastball. That one didn't outrightly appear to be on the plate, but Nias will now have to work in a 3-2 count.
And yeah, for a game that's been characterized by a lot of, softly hit balls, the one from Beaver, not anything hit crazy hard, just enough to get out of here.
Nias takes ball 4. So the Sox have their first base runner, not via an error or fielder's choice. And that'll bring up, and there will be a new man trotting out from the Strasburg bullpen. We'll take a break and be back on the other side of this pitching change here from First Bank Park. Evan Garcia trots out to the mound to continue the dominance of the Strasburg pitching staff here in the 8th with an inherited runner. He fires on a first pitch. Fastball to Anderson French for a called strike.
Yeah, 3.5 ERA combined between the regular season and the playoffs. Has only thrown once so far in the playoffs, and it was against Purcellville. Picked up 5 strikeouts through 2 innings.
Here's the 0-1 to French, who takes that one down low and outside for ball 1.
Gave up 2 runs as well, so definitely hittable. Definitely a guy the Sox can jump on, and it's going to be something different than what they saw with John Gray on the mound, and I think that's going to be very beneficial offensively.
Going to have to jump on him quick, as here's the next pitch. That one up and in, nearly got French to make it a 2-1 count. You're working with 6 outs here. That's all you have left. You can't take them home with you. There is no tomorrow. This is it, and this is your moment now. 2-1 count here between Garcia and French. The next pitch. That one misses to make it a 3-1 count. Garcia in danger of walking the first man he faces. Here's the next offering. That one clips the strike zone to run the count full.
Good leave right there by French. That was a pitch that's meant to induce a ground ball, something soft on the outside, and French lays off of it. He'll get a 3-2 pitch. Should be the best one he'll see.
Nias gets his lead off of first. Garcia now fires to the plate. French takes for ball 4. The Sox have 2 base runners now, courtesy of back-to-back walks from Patrick Nias and Anderson French. Now that turns things over to his good friend and a guy who's been huge with French in front of him this season, Hudson Luterman.
Yeah, nobody really hits better than Hudson Luterman with Anderson French on base. The two of them have combined to spark a number of rallies throughout the course of this playoffs. And another chance right here, Hudson Luterman can be that spark plug for the Sox.
Sox still searching for their first hit. The first pitch to Luterman is down low for ball 1. French and Nias, not the biggest burners on the base paths, but pass ball could see them advance into scoring position. Here's the 1-0 from Garcia. Luterman lines that one foul. Luterman, a hard pull guy. Mentioned it all season long. He's known to target that foul line or the fence on the left side of the ballpark every time he's in an at-bat. He'll be locked in a 1-1 count here against the lefty in a favorable matchup. Here's the next pitch from Garcia. Luterman takes a fastball high and tight for ball 2 to make it a 2-1 count.
Garcia just hasn't been able so far to really locate his pitches where he wants him to. Big pitch right here in favor of Huddy. He's going to have to attack him with something in the zone.
Next offering to Luterman, who holds up on a check swing. That one high above the zone to make it a 3-1 count. We'll have a pinch hitter, I believe, on deck for the Sox. It's Evan Tavares. Pinch hitting for Will Genowine. Here's the 3-1 to Luterman. Luterman lines that one out to left field. Going on is McCarter at the wall. He makes a leaping catch to deny Luterman of extra bases. So Nias will advance to third. He tagged up on the play. French still at first. Luterman with probably the best contact of the day, robbed by McCarter. And it'll turn things over to Tavares.
Yeah, just good piece of hitting in a play that wouldn't really have to be made at a ballpark not named First Bank Park, where, you know, that fence is so shallow out there. Probably would have been an easier read right there for McCarter out and left. But a good play nonetheless. Nias with smart base running to tag up and get himself over into scoring position.
So now runners on the corners. Sox down to 5 outs now. The clock starting to tick on their season. Tavares provided a huge pinch hit double last night. What does he have today against the lefty? First pitch he sees, Tavares check swing, but will be called a strike regardless. He'll fall behind 0-1.
Could be a good spot for a French stolen bag. He does have speed. He's got long legs with that 6'5" frame. Could take off. I don't see a throwdown happening.
Here's the 0-1 to Tavares. That one in the dirt. It gets away. French will advance. Nias holds at third. So now 2 guys in scoring position for Tavares. He knocked in 2 yesterday against the Express. He went oppo. In a shorter park, might have the opportunity to put one out.
Yeah, Speedy Douglas out in right field, who can cover some ground as we saw last night.
1-1 from Garcia. Tavares grounds it over towards third. A beautiful pick from Henderson. The throw, and it'll pull Beaver off the bag. So Tavares will have to go back as they called it foul. Hard to tell. Henderson gloved it as if it was in fair territory and made the throw over, but they ruled it foul. So now make it a 1-2 count, and Tavares is going to have to dig in the box.
Here we go.
Henderson fielded it like it was in fair territory, which is why everybody was kind of confused. Usually when you make the play at third, you have a pretty good eye, and you can see kind of if it was fair or foul. He made the play like it was fair. They'll call it foul.
1-2 to Tavares, and he takes for a call, strike 3. 2 outs in the top of the 8th, 4 outs left on the Sox' improbable season. And now we'll have another pinch hitter for Lee Sowers. This time it'll be Tanner Shadle. Shadle tied for the team lead in home runs in the regular season. Had himself a solid day yesterday. Only one official at-bat in the scorebooks, but he tied the team record for most walks in a game with 4. He and Lee Sowers, part of the multiple players who've done that. First pitch to Shadle, a breaking ball for strike 1.
And that one was a breaking pitch and must have just caught the bottom corner of the zone. Looked low from here, but 0-1.
5-1 to score here in First Bank Park. The next pitch to Shadle. He'll think about swinging, but it's a called strike regardless. And he's behind 0-2. Shadle, his last strike here, trying to keep the inning alive. The 0-2 pitch. Tanner swings and misses. It gets away from Duff. Nia's coming to the plate, and there won't be a throw from Duff. So Shadle gets to first, French over to third. Nia scores, and it's 5-2. Still no hits for the Sox.
And once again, in any way you can take them. For Charlottesville, though, take every opportunity they can get. And they took advantage right there. And it's now to the top of the order.
Top of the order, as you just said, Jeremy, Perry Hargett. Guy who's had some unlucky at-bats this season. Could change his fortunes with one swing. First pitch to Hargett is a fastball for called strike. Perry behind 0-1. Garcia, lefty fires. Hargett takes outside. Perry's had big-time experience, played in the ACC tournament against multiple ACC schools for the University of North Carolina. The 1-1, Hargett swings at one in the dirt, and he can't come up with it. He's behind 1-2.
Need a disciplined AB right here from Perry Hargett. Done it for the Sox all year, made hard contact. And got to get something into play here. Force this defense to make a play and try to do something.
Garcia ahead 1-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Garcia fans Hargett. And the Sox down to their final 3 outs. They'll look to keep this a 5-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th with Ian White on the mound. Bottom of the 8th here at First Bank Park, 5-2 the score. Ian White on the mound for the Tom Sox, looking to preserve this score as is to give Charlottesville a chance in the top of the 9th. Try and keep their season alive. Here's the first pitch to Brett Mosley, center fielder, and that one misses down low for ball 1.
And a assortment of defensive subs and movements for the Sox. Shadle takes over at first base. That'll slide Hudson Luderman over to second. Sowers out of the game, and Genuine out of the game now. Walker Buchanan out and left.
There's the 1-0 to Mosley. Flies that one back over the edge of the press box and out of play for strike 1. White worked through the end of last inning after Dawson Newman gave up the 3-run home run to Landon Beaver, which changed the trajectory of this ball game. White taking his time, gets the sign he likes. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one down low, goes to the backstop, make it a 2-1 count between him and Mosley. White back on the slab. Mosley in the box. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Mosley swings and taps that one off the screen for strike 2. Count even at 2 apiece, and Anderson French will go have a conversation with Ian White. This is the second time in 2 innings now that French has gone out to talk to the pitcher on the mound.
I think just as it's getting darker, getting harder to kind of pick up on signs, you also want to talk through with your guy, make sure he has faith in all the pitches he's throwing on the mound, make sure he trusts certain ones over others, see what he's comfortable with.
Mosley in the box. White takes a breath. Now he's ready. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. White goes down low. Mosley chases and he can't connect. And Ian White strikeout for the first out at the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, and just some disgusting stuff from Ian White. And we've mentioned it nonstop throughout the course of these, broadcasts, but just everything he throws, there's so much movement on it, so much break on it, and just a great pitcher on the mound in Ian White.
Hoosiers got themselves a good one. It'll be certainly a force in helping them make a run to the Big Ten title and maybe even Omaha next year. As he fires in a first pitch here to Jay Douglas that will miss outside for ball 1.
Yeah, excited to see him in Big Ten play next year. Get to hopefully see him in at least one appearance throughout the course of the weekend against Penn State.
Here's the 1-0 to Douglas. Takes a big hack there but can't connect. Even the count at 1-1. And White, a Pennsylvania native, so be sort of a homecoming for him playing against the Nittany Lions. As he readies now on the mound, out of the windup, the 1-1. Douglas squares, pulls back in time. Pitch goes up high to make it a 2-1 count. White just looking to work another scoreless outing. The stretch from Newman was quite impressive. He worked a few scoreless innings before finally having a rough inning as White fires one on the outside for ball 3. Now 3-1 to the right fielder, Douglas. White's going to have to battle back in the count here as he goes from the wind. His next offering. It's a fastball in there for strike 2 to even the count and run it full.
Good fastball on the knees. Douglas yet to take the bat off his shoulder, this AB.
Only time he did was to square and pull back. Here's the 3-2 from Ian. And Douglas chops that one off the screen to stay alive. Count remains full. Hard to tell if there's motion in the Express bullpen for the top of the 9th. They may roll with Evan Garcia. As White comes set, now delivers a pitch that just missed on the inside half. The Sox infield thought White had punched out Douglas looking, but Instead, he'll trot down to first base with a walk.
Yeah, very, very close pitch right there. Good comeback at bat right there from Ian White. Doesn't get the call he was looking for. Executed the pitch he was trying to execute. Everybody on the infield thought it was strike 3. Detweiler behind the dish says otherwise.
Now that turns things over to Logan Duff. Duff on the day yet to reach base. White will fire a pickoff over to first. Shadle's tag not in time. Duff back in the first, flew out to the center fielder, grounded out to the second baseman in the 3rd inning, and flew out to the center fielder in the 6th. So here's the first pitch to Duff. Douglas goes. French's throw to second, goes into center field. Langley will throw it back into Soroy. But Jay Douglas finds himself on third, courtesy of the E2.
Probably had the bag swiped even with a good throw. White holds runners on pretty well, but not to perfection, and he'll move up to third on the E2 from French, and it's an issue that's plagued the Sox all season long, has been the walks, the stolen bases, and the errors from behind the dish, and it'll now bring the infield in with 1 gone.
Imperative this run does not score. You can't allow Strasburg to add any insurance. So here's the 1-0 to Duff, and that one splits the zone for strike 1. 1-1 count here, bottom of the 8th. 5-2 the score between the Strasburg Express and the Charlottesville Tom Sox. White's next pitch, swung on and chopped off the screen. 1-2 count. Duff shakes his head, saying, I think I got it now. We'll see if exactly he does have it here on the 1-2 pitch from Ian White. White gets the sign he likes. From the windup, here's the pitch. That one inside for ball 2.
Yeah, didn't miss by much. Duff tried to scoot back there, realized it was kind of a slider breaking its way back into the zone, didn't break in enough on the inner half. 2-2.
So now a 2-2 count. Ian White takes a deep breath, now works out of the windup with Douglas on third, the 2-2. Swinging a foul tip. And it finds its way into the glove of Anderson French for strike 3. Well, look at that. What do I have in my glove? Anderson French comes up with a... Must have bounced off the backstop, went into French's glove. It looked as if it went into his glove cleanly. I've never seen that.
Off the backstop on a nice little bounce, but Duff stays alive.
And 2-2 once more. That one goes to the backstop. French pounces on it. Douglas won't be able to score, but now a 3-2 count. So some confusion.
It's a really, really bad angle over here. We're looking through 2 layers of fence down the right field, or from down the first base line, and hard to pick up on some things every once in a while.
All we really saw was the ball in French's glove and him tossing it to the umpire, and Duff heading back to the dugout is what I thought. Now it's a full count to the catcher. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. No doubt about that one. Ian White goes to the slider and gets Duff swinging.
That time you got it right. Another strong at-bat worked from White, and it's just his ability to throw either of those 2 pitches in any given at-bat. That slider that's going to break super hard off of his fastball just gives him a lot of versatility for a 2-pitch pitcher.
So Douglas still at third now with Brooks Henderson at the dish. First pitch to Henderson. This is outside with the heater. Count now 1-0. White trying to work around the throwing error from French, his battery mate. As he readies now on the mound, the 1-0 pitch. That one, slider, that just misses to make the count 2-0.
Been close with his 2 pitches so far, just missing on him. Faces a 2-0 hole.
So now White behind 2-0. Here's the next pitch. That one misses down low to make it 3-0.
Yeah, kind of the same spot on all 3 of those pitches. The first one maybe a little bit more outside than the next 2, but just unfortunately not getting the calls on him. Gonna have to change up his spot.
White needs to find the strike zone. This 3-0 count, he fires, and he won't locate. Brooks Henderson will trot his way down to first after the fastball goes inside. Now runners on the corners for the Express, sending it to the top of the order in Brady Bowles.
And expect a stolen bag right here from Henderson. You don't necessarily need the run into scoring position, but he knows he can swipe it with ease. Any throw down is going to send Jay Douglas coming back the other way, and that might be beneficial. Randy Tomlin going to take some steps out here and come talk it over with Ian White in the infield.
Well, the Sox do have Trevor Booten in the bullpen, and as I said earlier during a break, you can't take Trevor with you to next season. These teams don't exactly carry over, so have a guy like Booten who's been your closer. May need to use him for one last time this season. And Randy Tomlin appears to make the signal, and they will. So Trevor Booten will come on. Ian White will leave the ball game with runners on the corners. We'll take a break and be back on the other side of this pitching change here in Strasburg. Trevor Booten on the mound trying to preserve the 5-2 score here at First Bank Park in VBL Championship game number 3. Winner take all. The Express ahead. Booten, sidearm slot, fires the first pitch to Brady Bowles. That goes down in the dirt. French can't scoop it, but it falls in front, so Douglas can advance from third.
For Booten on the season, he's been called on in every scenario necessary, every chance he's had, and he's been that guy for the Sox, and they'll let him close this one out here.
Come the de facto closer after the departure of Jason Ban as the second pitch he fires misses for ball 2. Booten's been everything the Tom Sox have asked of him and more this season. Here's the 2-0 from Trevor. That one misses up high for ball 3, and Booten may be getting a little squeezed here.
Yeah, this zone seems to squeeze itself in later and later into this game, and things just really haven't gone the Sox way.
Here's the 3-0 from Booten. That one right down the middle. Can't call that one a ball. Count now 3-1.
I don't even know if it's been an inconsistency thing with Detweiler. It just really hasn't been a great zone all night.
3-1 now from Trevor, and that one misses inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Paul Osting. Ian White responsible for the runners on second and third, those being Jay Douglas and Brooks Henderson, who both worked walks. Osting walked it off in game one. They single into right. That one coming against Booton's Auburn teammate, Saxon Roberts, who up to that point had been phenomenal. First pitch from Booton to Osting finds the zone. Count now 0-1.
Big first pitch there to the switch hitting Osting.
One of the few switch hitters in the Valley League.
Has yet to face a right-hander today.
So here's the 0-1 pitch from Trevor Booton. Osting tries to go down at the breaking ball. He can't connect, and he's behind 0-2. Trevor taking some time on the mound to get the sign he likes. Bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the 0-2 from Trevor. And that one just missed on the outside. And not many of the Tom Sox players happy with that non-call. Very close miss for Booton. So now 1-2 the count to Osting. Sox looking to keep it a 5-2 game. The next pitch in the dirt. French does a beautiful job of blocking it. With the count now 2-2.
Got to rely on Boots' composure here. Douglas dancing around at third in his peripheral vision. Didn't get the call you wanted on 0-1. Spiked 0-2 pitch. Composure. Be collected on the mound here. Deliver a good pitch on the 2-2. Hit your spot.
Tom Sox vet, a guy you'd want in this spot. Booton takes a breath. Here's the 2-2. And a called strike 3. Booton finds the zone in a 2-2 count to preserve the 5-2 scoreline. And the Sox have 3 outs left in this improbable championship run. Can they find a way to continue to be the Cinderella story they've been here in Strasburg? Doomsday clock is at midnight. We are DEFCON 1 here in Strasburg. 3 outs left in the Tom Sox season, and they need 3 runs to send it to the bottom of the 9th. First pitch, the man in the 2 spot, Kyle Langley, misses down low.
It'll be lefty-righty lefty for Charlottesville against the lefty in Garcia, who's back to work for his 2nd inning. Worked out of the jam last frame, and in no bigger spot than this one right here to protect this 3-run lead.
1-0 count now to Langley. Next pitch. Misses inside for ball 2.
0 for 3 today for Kyle Langley. Carried one out of this yard and had himself a great game 2 nights ago here.
2-0 pitch. Kyle takes for ball 3. So a solid at-bat being worked here. Langley a pitch away from reaching base, trying to kickstart a Sox comeback. 3-0. That one finds the zone. Count now 3-1 to the JMU product. Garcia ready in the lineup, he fires. That one inside. Langley works a walk. The Sox stay alive. I'll turn things over to Jackson Soroy. Charlottesville still searching for their first hit of the ball game. Can Soroy provide it?
The Sox have never been no hit through a 9-inning game, whether that's combined or singular. This could be a first. Or
first pitch to Soroy. He takes for strike 1 with a fastball. A 1. Soroy ground ball over to third, gloved by Henderson. Throw to second in time, throw to first in time. A 5-4-3 double play. Brooks Henderson, Eddie Castillo, and Landon Beaver continue to be the defensive stalwarts for the Express. And there's 1 out left in the Tom Sox season. Season rests on Brock Clayton.
Gonna get a little umpire conversation as the first base umpire and Steve Williams is gonna go talk things over with Randy Tomlin. Sox first base coach Thomas Abel was talking to Jackson Soroy as he was coming to the bag, saying off right, seeing if that's where the throw went, and was letting him know that it was gonna be off to the right, potentially off of the bag. Williams thought that Abel was complaining about the call to him, and clearly Williams not too appreciative of what Abel said, and Abel trying to plead his case, saying, I didn't say anything to you, it was all talking to my player.
And discussion was of the call at first, and we knew that Soroy was out. But won't matter in the grand scheme of things. Brock Clayton, final out, the final man between the Express and their 4th VBL title. First pitch from Clayton is a swinging strike into the glove of Duff. Clayton looking to find a way on base to prolong this game. Here's the 0-1. Clayton takes a pitch down in the dirt that hits Logan Duff. He's going to shake it off and fire back to Garcia. So now a 1-1 count to Clayton. Next pitch from Garcia. Brock takes inside on a breaking ball. 2-1 the count. Strasburg fans not happy about that one. Here's the 2-1 to Clayton. Brock swings at a pitch in the dirt. Charlottesville Tom Sox see their season ahead ending. 1 strike left for Brock Clayton. Here's the pitch from Garcia. Clayton takes a breaking ball in the dirt, and the count runs full. Garcia, ready on the mound. Here's the 3-2 offering to Brock Clayton. And it's ball 4. Just missed the zone. And the season stays alive for the Sox. Now it's all up to Patrick Neas. One of the guys who started the season on the roster and in the lineup for the Sox and has been here ever since. Never once left. Not many days off for Pat. First pitch he sees, check swing, and they'll say he went. He's behind 0-1. 0-1 count to the third baseman, Nias. Here's the pitch. Nias takes inside for ball 1. One and one count to the Gardner-Webb product. The pitch, Nias chops that one foul onto the Little League field. And once again, Charlottesville finds themselves a strike away from seeing their 5th VBL title slip away from their hands. Garcia working out of the stretch with Clayton at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Nias grounds over to third. Henderson can't glove it. Clayton will advance to second. Nias at first. And an error keeps the Sox alive.
And after every single defensive web gem we've seen tonight from this team, that is really the first gaffe, the first, true mistake defensively. Henderson just kind of gets eaten up by the hop off the chopper from Nias. The Sox season hanging on by a thread, but it brings up Anderson French as the game-tying run.
We'll have a chance to see if French can do something as we have a mound visit from Strasburg. Bullpen not open, door still closed out there and left. There is a man getting loose. We can't exactly tell who it is. It will just be a conversational visit as I'll hand the ball back to Garcia to try and get this final out. French will have to do it lefty-lefty. Try and prolong this game. Anderson on the day is 0 for 2. He reached on a walk in the 8th inning, flew out to center back in the 2nd inning, and grounded out to short in the 5th. Garcia from the stretch now with Clayton and Nias on 2nd and 1st respectively. First pitch, a called strike with the heater. Come on, French. 0-1 count to Anderson French. The pitch swung on and missed. A breaking ball got French out in front of it. And once again, one more strike could give the Express their 4th Valley Baseball League championship. The 0-2. Down in the dirt. French nearly thought about swinging, but he stays alive. Anderson French going to try and prolong the Sox' hopes of their 5th VBL title. Here's the 1-2. And a called strike 3. It's magic for the Strasburg Express. A combined no-hitter and their 4th Valley Baseball League championship. 5-2 the score. 9 innings here at First Bank Park. And the Express end the season on top.
In a hard-fought season all season long for Charlottesville. Faced adversity to start the year, faced injuries all throughout it. The team never gave up. Relentless effort. Came back from any deficit imaginable down the stretch of this season. Clawed back into games. Tied games up, won games late. Timely pitching, timely hitting. And they chased this Strasburg team down to a Game 3, the best offense in the league by a long shot, and they held them off down the line. Just couldn't get it done here tonight.
So the Express claimed their 4th Valley Baseball League championship on their home turf in Strasburg. The Charlottesville Tom Sox end the season as the Valley League South Division champions, but they couldn't muster one comeback in the final game of the season. I'd like to thank everybody involved with the Tom Sox organization, all our board members, our president, Chesley Mullins, all of the interns that we've worked around all season, the team leads, Ben Rekosh, Emmy Franklin, Cassidy Guyton, Kaylee Trent, all the great people I've been privileged to work alongside with this season. My own team lead, Nate Schwartz, my interns alongside the media team with me, Landon Weaver, Daniel Stein, of course my partner Jeremy Rose. It's been an incredible and improbable season to get to this point, and there's nothing to hang your head about with what the Tom Sox have accomplished this year. They fall here at First Bank Park 5-2. This won't be the last time you'll see the Charlottesville Tom Sox in the Valley League Baseball Championship. I've been Luke Stefanisco alongside Jeremy Rose. Thanks for staying with us here on the Tom Sox Broadcast Network. The Express win at 5-2.